Hello, everyone, and welcome here to Speedrunners Arena, where we have another pair of Swiss Round 5 races coming your way. We have Bressingham 6 versus FenixDown23, and we have Chexhuman against Neatorific. We have a little bit of variance here, as Bressingham and FenixDown are 2-2, whereas Chexhuman and Neatorific are 3-1, respectively here. So that'll certainly shake around things as we go along here. I'm Ferran Burgundy, by the way. I am the voice bringing you the action here tonight in this Super Metroid Randomizer Accessible Tournament race, or pair of races, I should say. And yes, we've got things shuffled around, to say the least. Our runners are going to be looking to defeat Mother Brain as quickly as possible, and you're going to see a few sequence breaks in the process of doing so. That's one of the interesting quirks to both the tournament and the format that is the accessible Super Metroid Randomizer. Now, yeah, exactly. Logic, what is that? That's I'm going to try to avoid that word, as it tends to be thrown around quite a bit, but for better or for worse, there's nothing that is too far out of expectations other than infinite bomb jumps and wall jumps and things of that nature. But you're going to see the runners do a lot of sequence breaking along the way here. Vertical shine spark, as you can see there. Yeah, logic helps to know, but it's not necessarily going to stop them. You're going to see things done a little out of sequence, but we're going to be keeping track along the way here. So our runners are just about set here, and they are going to be released into the madness shortly here. And when they do, well, we'll see where things are going as things go along here. But yes, this is not a four-way race. It is the top two runners against one another and the bottom two runners against one another, sharing those records that you see in the middle, 2-2 for the top row and 3-1 for the bottom row. And we see there is a prediction that is set. Tend to see that quite a bit here. Which of these suits will be found first? The Varius suit, which will protect from the heat down deep into Norfair, or the gravity suit, which will help you move around in the water area that is Meridia. And our runners are underway. They're going to head to the one planned vanilla location, which is the morph ball that is required in the SMRAT planning. And already we're seeing a little bit of a trick on a couple of our runners and what is known as moonfall, which allows you to basically fall faster than gravity. Just fall at a very, very, very fast rate. And that generally saves about a second or so, maybe a little more than that, heading down the climb shaft there. So they're all going to make their way into the elevator and head on over to grab the morph ball over to the left there, and then we'll get to see our first item that will tell the tale of where the seed is potentially going to go, and that'll be down here in the construction zone. The first set of missiles. Bressingham gonna get there just slightly first, and we see it as a set of super missiles. So that does allow for a little bit of access. Our runners are hoping they'll be able to find some bombs here, and we're going to see one of our first item grabbing sequence breaks, probably from all four of our runners here. The stealing area, you can only, intentionally, you're supposed to have high jump boots or base jump in order to grab it here, but they're going to utilize the bump from the enemy here to get the super missiles, and well, we've got super missiles galore here, as already 15 for all of our runners. So that means that the Czech, affectionately known as Billy Mays, is going to have to wait. There are a lot of bombable Czechs that are going to have to be avoided here. The blue Brinstar power bombs, as well as in Criteria Old Mother Brain and the 230 missiles, and all of our runners are going to head now to bomb Chorizo. And they're guaranteed there by the logic, if bombs have not been found already, to either have bombs or power bomb. They're hoping for power bombs because if regular bombs are found in the vanilla type set, then that means they're going to have to fight that little mini boss bomb Chorizo. And well, when it's speed run, you want to try to fight as few bosses as possible apart from the required ones. So time will certainly tell on that here as they all make their way up through the parlor. Gonna roll on in here. Bressingham seeming to have the early advantage there. And let's see where... Oh, we have regular bombs and bomb Chorizo, so we're gonna have a little bit of bonus content here. Thankfully, all it takes is 2 super missiles right there in the proverbial glowing heart. Yeah, a little downloadable content boss in a sense. So having dispatched a bomb Chorizo, now, well, as far as the way the seed wants them to go, that means that infinite bomb jumps could come into play, as we see Bressingham doing an escape that is known as Alcatraz. Normally, you need to bomb over to the right side to be able to get out, but with a well-timed morph ball that I will admit I'm not able to do, that gets you right on over there. So now over to the 230 missile location on Bressingham's side, and we have space jump. Well, that is an interesting development here early on. So that is going to allow for a lot of accessibility. It puts those ceiling super missiles into the game planning. We're not going to go Billy Mays yet because we need power bombs to get up there, I believe. Well, intentionally. Yeah, I mean, I believe you can kind of roll into that tiny space. And now over here in the Terminator E-Tank, that is vanilla. And we've got the bombs bringing a little bit of variance here. So we've got missiles down at Old Mother Brain, as FenixDown notes. And it looks like our other 3 runners are going to be heading in towards the Green Brinstar area. And neatorific and Bressingham the first to make it there. And we're going to see another sequence break in a moment here known as Mock Ball. Normally you need the speed booster to get to this particular area. And we did see some power bombs there. That is in planning. And we've got some more power bombs in the back, as well as another E-Tank. And a reserve tank that maybe will be left behind. Phoenix, meanwhile, is up at the ship. Oh, no, they're going to grab the reserve tank here. Yeah, so much for a late power bomb seed. Well, better late than never, I suppose. Although, yeah, this is another bit of a variance here, as it looks like we have a missile up at the early super location. And Phoenix going to go out of the planning and, well, with no power bombs, is going to go into the gauntlet. This is rather interesting. And with only just the, with no E-Tanks, so just the 99 energy points, this is rather brazen. Meanwhile, neatorific and Bressingham are going to be heading down into Eticoons, where we've got 3 checks down there. The first of which is some missiles. And we've got an E-Tank. behind the green door. And as they make their climb, we see in the front of Gauntlet, we have some missiles. And we'll see Phoenix making a bold play here. Yes, I did say brazen. Good to see that broadcast degree is paying off here with the vocabulary. So now up the Edacoon's climb here, and in sync we've got a set of missiles. And Phoenix just about through the gauntlet. A little dicey. But let's see if this gamble pays off, and we've got supers and regular missiles in the back. Well, to answer the questions in chat here, the game does not intend you to go against the logic in this case here. As we've got a super missile up in top. So a lot of what the racers in the tournament are doing is breaking out of that logic, breaking away from what is intended in the game. As we see now here in the Mission Impossible location is also a set of supers. But yes, using the exclamation point SMRAT, you're able to see the only tricks that are in the planning of the game are the wall jump, the vertical shine spark, and infinite vertical bomb jumping, or IBJ for short. So any of the other tricks that you see here, like the Spore Spawn skip on Neatorific and Bressingham's side, are not intended by the game. It's intended exactly off of the base game logic. So we have missiles in the back of Spore Spawn. And now we're going to have the wave gate glitch. Yeah, the power bombs are definitely in logic. At least some of them are. So we're going to see what is in wave gate. And it is the Varia suit. So that is a nice early find. That is out of logic, as wave gate is needed to get back there, or the wave beam, I should say. And we've got an E-tank at the missile before charge beam, and we'll see in a moment what is behind charge beam. We've got a set of supers. So the Varia suit, a very nice find here early on. Now, again, that's not necessarily what the game intends. So we'll see, depending on where Wavegate is, if the plan is to go down into Upper Norfair or not. So we've got missiles in the pipe currently here on Bressingham's side. Checks, meanwhile, I believe having picked up the Varia suit as well. And in blue Brinstar and that power bomb, it looks like we have super missiles. And Bressingham probably, is going to head on back here to the Billy Mays locations that were inaccessible earlier. Oh, Chex did not get the gate open. Okay, I did not see that. Thank you, Invarial, for keeping me honest here, as it's hard for 2 eyes and 1 brain to keep track of 4 screens. So Phoenix now in Pink Brinstar. We're going to take a look here and see what is in Billy Mays. We have a set of missiles, and but wait, there's more. Act now, and we'll throw in a pair of super missiles at no extra charge. So Chex and neatorific almost synchronized here as they both make their way towards Billy Mays. Phoenix now getting the checks that were missed by, or well, that were picked up by everybody else, I should say. Yeah, I don't know if glasses would necessarily help. I mean, I do have LASIK. Had you known, you would have happily jumped on. Might be. I was gonna say it might be a little late to bring you in on this one, Z, but I'm sure that the SMRAT community would love to bring you in, as I know from personal experience that you are one heck of a commentator, and we have had a lot of fun commentaries together. So now the runners all pretty much covering each other's tracks at this point. The only major item of note is the Varia suit, which we saw was wave beam blocked, and thanks to the wave gate glitch, was able to be acquired early by a couple of our runners and make that 3 as Phoenix is about to pick it up here and does just that. And it's yes, it's an unfortunate thing that leaving a check behind that generally is not part of the game's intention, at least in the early going, how much of a how much of a setback it can be. But none of our runners have gone yet to North there, so we don't know how much of a setback it necessarily is. And of course, yes, space jump, while not required for the most part, does certainly allow for some additional access, as we see an E-tank here up in the landing power bomb location. And neatorific, meanwhile, back up in the parlor. Chex making the similar climb. And Phoenix going to head over into the Red Tower area, and I think that's the first of our runners to do so. Bressingham, meanwhile, going to head over toward Wreck Ship, and we see Spazer on the moat. Considering there are no beams at this point here, not a bad pickup. I know that Spazer doesn't get a whole lot of love, but early in a seed, not too shabby. And I don't know how they can see in that split second what is in the missiles up there. I don't know if that was gravity suit or not. It was you blink and you miss it, essentially. And meanwhile, in the Mermaid missiles location, we have an E-tank. Phoenix is going to go over and check X-ray. And I believe it was super missiles. It happened so fast I couldn't quite see it. So Bressingham now going to make the checks over in Wrecked Ship, and with the 6 energy tanks and the Varia suit. We're being told that Gravity was at Climb Supers. I didn't even see anybody go to Climb Supers. And we've got the wave beam at the Spooky Missile location. So that puts the Varia suit into logic. And I believe that was a set of, was that super missiles there at Spazer? Again, the action happening so fast here. It's you see one screen and you miss something going on in the other three here. Oh no, that was missiles. Okay. So we have the Fantoon fight going on for Bressingham. Phoenix, meanwhile, heading over toward Crade. There's a set of missiles that are going to be ignored there by Phoenix. Yeah, apparently the game, yes, wanted people to go to Wreck Ship for Wave and then go back to Wave Gate to get Varia. But we don't know where Gravity's suit is as of yet. So we'll find out as Fantoon is down on Bressingham's side. Phoenix, meanwhile, going to take on Crade. And Chex now heading into Wreck Ship as well. And Neatorific looks to be not too far behind. Will we get a quick kill? We will not. At least on Phoenix's side. Oh, saw the Sky Maze and headed on for a little bit longer. Okay, so that West Ocean lower missile is Gravity. Okay. Meanwhile, in the back of Crade, we've got Supers. And we have an energy tank on the right super missile location of Wreck Ship. Chexhuman now going for the Fantoon fight. Neatorific about to enter into Wreck Ship as well. We'll see if he decides to go check the spooky missiles. Yep, the standing up of Crade, known as the taking Crade to prom. So now inside the frog room, we've got some missiles that are being left behind by Phoenix. So 20 minutes in, this has been interesting. Circling back here to see what I missed. And it was a set of missiles over to the left. Meanwhile, down the high jump boot area, we have Supers. As a pair of Fantoon fights go on the bottom here. Exactly. So much is going on. It's very much a blink and you miss it type scenario. So there was a reset at the top here. So, well, never X-Ray opting to pass on X-Ray. And we had a set of Supers as well. And we've got power bombs that are going to be picked up by Bressingham up in the attic. So much going on in such a short period of time. So the lava check that had missiles, which looks like we're passed up. And in the sky, we have super missiles. But of note, there is the gravity suit. All right. Meanwhile, up in Norfair Reserve, we have a pair of missiles. And this is okay. We've got a bit of a backdoor entry into Meridia here by Bressingham. The Lost Highway, as it's known. Oh, no, oh, I stand corrected. Okay, that was just a very quick exit, I should say. So never mind. It looked immediately unfamiliar, but instead, back in Brinstar at the Beta PB room, we have some missiles. Neatorific is going to pass on the X-ray. No love for the X-ray. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. So meanwhile, down in the Alpha, we've got missiles. And Ice Beam at the speed location. That is interesting. Ice to see you. Meanwhile, I did not get to see what was in the back of Alpha. Just some power bombs. Okay. So apart from Waterway, Brinstar has pretty much been full cleared by all of our runners. And it looks like with the finding, at least early on, of Gravity Suit, nobody really wanting to check the rest of it here. Is now a different direction here from Phoenix, going to pick up some missiles at the Wave Missile location. And in the Wave Beam area, we've got some supers. Bressingham are going to pick up the supers at the X-ray location, and Neatorific is grabbing the power bombs up in the attic. Check's going to head on over to that same area there, and yeah, almost. Gravity is in Maze Missile. It's good to know that's what it's called here, as I have it as West Ocean Lower Missile. Can add that to my commentary notes here as I'm attempting to improve in the knowledge of nicknames and things of that nature along the way here. The credits call it West Ocean Lower Missile. So I'm just, keeping it official. Thank you for that, Cheese Reaver. Our fantastic coast. And Neatorific going to pick up the gravity suit. Meanwhile, there's those missiles in Spazer over on Bressingham's side. And Phoenix is heading into Lower North there, sans gravity suit. That is, to quote a famous movie, a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Neatorific, meanwhile, is going to be going bowling into that western part of the wrecked ship. So we have 3 checks there. Oh, Phoenix, you are very low on health and takes a death. Oh no. I believe saving not too far before, though. And Chexhuman also going to go ahead and check the bowling area. So we have super missiles at the gravity missile location. Now, our runners don't have the speed booster, so they can't check the wrecked reserve. But at the vanilla gravity suit location, we have some more supers. So where is all the good stuff hiding? Yeah, high crade, by crade over on Bressingham's side. Quick kill. One of these days I'll be able to get to do that. So Chex, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and grab the super missiles, dropping the power bomb. Perhaps going to at least take a gander at what is at wrecked reserve. I mean, you have the speed booster. Why not? Just in case if you might have to double back here. Although having a little trouble getting up there with those spikes. Finally does so, and it's the high jump boots. Oh boy. That takes away a potential trick or two there. Exactly. It's only funny when you're watching, and even I'm not finding it that entertaining. But then again, I'm looking for every in logic thing that I can because, yes, Mijic, high jump boots. Well, you didn't miss them as far as tracking. They are in the wreck ship reserve location, so they are speed locked. So Phoenix now attempting to make the jump and takes another death, running out of energy. And now other ground being covered, and there was a check of Croc escape. And it was an E-tank. So Phoenix is going to try it again here with 4 E-tanks. I stand corrected. Phoenix going to head on over to Crocomire. So we've got Chex now heading down from the top of Red Tower. Bress is picking up the super missiles as well as leaving the 2 missiles behind. Check's now doubling back to the green pipe. Exactly. Always bet on Croc, who is taken down here. Now just waiting for the cutscene, and it was a reserve tank at Croc. E-tank. Brett's doubling back and going, yeah, I kind of want that ice beam. And checks now with the wave beam and is going to be happy to find the Varia suit. Meanwhile, there's an energy tank up in the Croc PB location. And that apparently looks to put Brest in go mode. Trying to play catch up here a little bit on the items. So we have missiles in the grapple location. We've got a Kraid quick kill on Neatorifac's side. Chex, meanwhile, is going to go toward X-Ray. And it's an E-tank all the way down there at the grapple location. Yeah, the bottom race is fairly close. The top one, there was variance from the start, and one chose an ideal direction. The other took a gamble, and the gamble did not quite pay off. I believe it's 60 super missiles to kill Mother Brain 2. As Bressingham is now in the worst room in the game. Neatorific, having taken out Kraid, now heading back as well. And I think that we're going to see too many checks there in lower north there. Just a hunch. Yeah, Cheese Reaver noting, randomizer is the great equalizer. Absolutely. So trying to power through the three amigos here. Taking a little bit of damage boosting in the process. Phoenix getting out of the Croc area and going right on down into lower north there. But still does not have gravity suit. Now I'm presuming that... Did Phoenix even get to wrecked ship? I don't believe so. So Neatorific now going to leave the missiles behind, and another death now for Phoenix. The third here in this race. As meanwhile, Bressingham is taking on Ridley, looking to pump 30 super missiles in for as quick of a kill as possible. Checks, meanwhile, working on Kraid. And yeah, lava dive with no high jump. That is just less than ideal. That was a great Ridley fight on Bressingham's part, and behind Ridley, we have super missiles. Going to be left behind as 75 looks to be enough to get things done. And Phoenix is going to go for it again here. 6 E-tanks and a reserve. But that high jumpless lava dive, less than ideal. And Breast, meanwhile, going to take a look at the Power Bombs of Shame location, and it just has missiles. Oh, Neatorific gets the lava dive. Very nice. And is now in the worst room in the game. With a good amount of energy, too. Phoenix also down there. Oh, and it looks like Nito's going to go for the hidden mouse check here. And it just has missiles. But I do appreciate you at least going for it. Oh, and look at this. We've got Speed Booster as part of the Lower Norfair escape. That's just kind of the icing on the cake here for Bressingham. Going to go ahead and check the Three Musketeers missiles, and it's Spring Ball. Arguably the best item in the game. Phoenix also checking the mouse and not finding a lot there. Yeah, always take Spring. Absolutely. Peepo SB coming in the chat for sure. And Chex, meanwhile, is checking over in the iced area. So we've got some power bombs. I'll admit I missed the ice check itself. But thanks to the instant replay, we see it's super missiles. Phoenix is going to head on over into the Firefly Funhouse and see a reserve and leave it behind. So a lot of the good stuff has to be in Meridia, does it not? I mean, we've seen no charge, no plasma. We know where the high jump boots are, no screw attack. I mean, they have what they need. It's kind of more just the pleasantries that they're hiding somewhere. As Nito is now on the Ridley fight. Phoenix is going to ignore the PBs of shame for now. As Chex checking the high jump boots locations. And Bressingham is on his way to Meridia. One more boss to go in Dragon before the battle with Mother Brain. So not even going to really bother with any of the checks here, I don't believe. Yeah, Bressingham making fantastic time. As behind Ridley, we have those super missiles on neatorific's side. Phoenix doing a little bit of farming before heading into Ridley himself, or his self, I should say. And Check's going to leave those supers behind at bubble missiles. As Bressingham on the way to and about to fight Bot Woon. Oh, there's a question in chat. How does one become a SMRAT runner? Well, exclamation point Varia, as I have on there. You can create your own seeds and run your own practices at varia.run. And oh goodness, we have a death here on FenixDown side. Didn't quite have enough energy in the Ridley fight. That is his 4th death of this race. Oh, and that puts him all the way back in Croc's area. Oh no. Meanwhile, the precious missiles are just that. And here comes the Dragon fight. Meanwhile, Chex utilizing the space jump, getting through that lava dive rather swiftly. And down goes Dragon on Bressingham's side. Phoenix now still attempting the oh, that's right. This is before the lava dive. Oh my goodness. You know, with the speed boost acquisition and Bressingham just booking it back as he sees a battle with Mother Brain in the near future. And Phoenix taking a 5th death. 4 of them attempting the lava dive, and 1 in a battle with Ridley. You have to wonder if there might be a little bit of a frustration factor kicking in at this point. Meanwhile, Neatorific is farming as Chex is in the amphitheater. And Phoenix heading up through Croc Escape. And perhaps realizing, all right, I need to go find Gravity Suit because this just isn't happening. Or maybe is getting the energy tank and doubling back. No, Phoenix said, I've had enough of this. 4 deaths is 4 too many. and then making a fool of me once again. Not that difficult to do. Bressingham saving at the ship. Neatorific, meanwhile, is in Meridia. And I don't think anybody's looking for anything here apart from Bot Wound, Dragon, and Get Out. Chex working on the Metal Pirates. Great Shine Spark Up. The diagonal variety, not expected in SMRAT planning, but you tend to see it with practically all of our runners. And Bressingham at just under 49 minutes is going to be the first to enter Torian. Phoenix did get back into Lower Norfair without acquiring the gravity suit. And you have to figure at this point might just be abandoning it for the sake of time, as usually a runner knows if they haven't found one of the two suits almost 50 minutes in, it is definitely a rather uphill climb. No pun intended, as Phoenix having a large climb in the worst room in the game. Meanwhile, Bressingham getting through the Metroid rooms, and we now have the baby section coming up. The baby. Chexhuman, meanwhile, is working on Ridley, and Neatorific is almost at Dragon. The baby takes the energy down to 1, recognizes who it is, and dips off. Breaths, you forget to refill your energy? Oh, you're gonna, okay. You're gonna utilize the missiles first and then double back. All right, I was all kinds of perplexed there for a second. So Chex now working on the Lower Norfair escape. Neatorific almost done with Dragon. And there is Dragon down on Neatorific's side. So Bressingham now about to enter the Zeb room. Gets the Zeb skip, no problem. No screw attack to have to turn off in this case here. Starts pumping those missiles in. Chex ignoring the reserve tank at the Firefly Funhouse. Shout out to WWE's Bray Wyatt on that one. And Malcrios, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in to this pair of races here at Speedrunners Arena. This is the Super Metroid Randomizer Accessible Tournament week 5 of the 7-week Swiss rounds. We have the 2-2 Bressingham 6 taking on the 2-2 FenixDown23, and on the lower end of the screen, you have the 3-1 Chexhuman taking on the 3-1 neatorific. Bressingham has a rather noted lead at the moment here and has already gotten into the rainbow beam phase of Mother Brain as Phoenix working on Ridley and taking out Ridley. Meanwhile, Chex going to grab Spring Ball here after picking up Speed Booster. And Nito, meanwhile, is done with the 4 bosses and is going to head on over to Torian. Chex still has to go through Meridia and deal with Dragon. Now, the reason for the disparity between Bressingham and FenixDown is Phoenix did not acquire the gravity suit, opting not to go up to wrecked ship, and attempted on 4 different occasions, well, actually attempted on 6 different occasions, but taking 5 deaths along the way, a high jumpless lava dive to get into Lower North Air. 4 of those 6 attempts led deaths in the lava, or in the acid, I should say. One of them was a death fighting Ridley, and this 6th time was a charm. But at this point, with the escape on Bressingham's side, like the Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams song of the late 70s, it might be too much, too little, too late. What can I say? Dryzalizer. I'm a radio DJ, so occasionally I sneak those in where I can. So, Neatorific, having not acquired the Ice Beam, is going to have to utilize the Power Bombs to get through these Metroids here. Phoenix working through the Lower North Air escape. Bressingham, meanwhile, is in the parlor and is moments away from finishing. So get out your GGs in chat. Bressingham is going to take the victory here and move to 3-2 with an official SRL time of 56 minutes and 32 seconds. And not surprisingly, FenixDown has entered the immediate forfeit following Bressingham's finish, and we'll go to 2-3. But still, a gallant effort. It was just a matter of direction in this case here, as the opting to not go to wreck ship. There were a couple of things that caused a little bit of havoc along the way. The not getting gravity at wreck ship, was certainly one of the major things. I'm trying to remember and going back over my notes here, as it's certainly been a wild and woolly event here. Now, picking up, Chex was the later one to pick up Varia. That's right. So there were a few. Yeah, the the delay in picking up the Varius suit in Chex's side is what has caused the disparity there. In Phoenix's case, not getting or going a different way than wrecked ship, and with gravity being at the maze missile location, that caused a series of unfortunate events, or a chain of unfortunate events, I suppose. And joining us in the chat here, we have both of our top row racers here, Bressingham and FenixDown. GG to both of you. Certainly, as you probably heard in my comments, since I didn't see when you had got brought into the room, it was just a matter of choosing two completely different directions.
Yeah.
So GG, Bressingham.
Yeah, GG, man.
Yeah, I knew going in here that I was gonna have to go against what my logic was telling me to do, just because of the movement difference. So I don't think going down was a terribly bad risk. It just turned into a mess, as everyone could see.
Yeah,
At that point,
go
it
ahead.
became
Went
about
down as
principle.
well.
Like I knew when I didn't find gravity that the race was over, because if Bressingham also went down, then the movement was the difference, and if Bressingham went up, then the game's just over at that point. So I was just like, okay, I've committed. I just have to get this done, no matter how many times I die.
Yeah, I actually went in to clean up Blueprint Star and then accidentally ran out of peeps, so I was forced up, which worked out. I don't want to say it was like totally just accidental, but I was thinking about going down. But I knew that going down, I would have to find something where I'd turn around, because I can't do high jumpless lava dive. But it was really lucky that gravity was in the wrecked ship.
Yeah, apparently I can't do it either.
Did you have some resets to that?
I think that I successfully did it. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 times. There was a death at Ridley, about 8 deaths in the lava pit. So it was a fun time.
That was a bit of an exaggeration. It was 4 deaths in the lava pit and the 1 death to Ridley, so it was 5 all told. So yeah, there were 6 attempts at the high jumpless lava dive in Lower Norfair.
Yeah, it's tough to do in a race. Like I could do that in practice without any issues, but you get into a race setting and the nerves are a little bit tighter and it's a little bit tougher.
Props for going hard down there. That's being in Lower Norfair with just very no high jump is really just a miserable experience.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, and Ridley gave me a funky pattern the first time, and you forget with just very take a little bit more damage from those body hits, so it was rough.
Well, high jump wasn't exactly in a location to really help anybody, as it was at wrecked reserve.
Oh,
just to add more insult to injury.
Where was Speed? And Speed was Lower Norfair, right?
Speed was in Lower Norfair, part of the escape. It was at the Spring Ball Maze missiles.
Yeah, I literally just got it when you finished.
Oh. Yeah, I was happy to see Speed. It's always like to see Speed, even if it's at the end.
Yeah, that was just the cherry on the sundae. The way things were going, as far as Bressingham's movement. I mean, yeah, it was just, as you said, it was certainly worth taking a risk. But I mean, as far as the, I mean, at this point, the caliber of players. I mean, there are a lot of really good 2-2 players who probably should be in the 3-1 bracket, but reasons they're down in 2-2. So yeah, this is a very packed field, to say the least.
Yeah, I think Bressingham had 100% pick rate on challenge, which means that even I voted for Bressingham. So, it was one of those races. But anyway, GG, looks like another runner's going to finish up here. We'll let them come in and do their interviews. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everyone, for commentary and getting the restream in there. Appreciate all the staff.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the race, Phoenix.
Yep.
Most certainly. And yes, GG's to both Phoenix and Bressingham. And we thank you, Melissa, for the raid. Welcome on into Speedrunners Arena. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I'm providing the commentary here on just about wrapping up things on the race here as well, chat can get out their GG's for Neatorific, who is going to take the victory over Chex and move to 4-1 with an official SRL time of 63 minutes and 5 seconds. And Chex, meanwhile, saving at the ship and is going to continue on here. Yep, the high five at the ship, absolutely. So we're going to hear from Neatorific in a matter of moments.
Hello.
Oh, and that moment was very quick, in fact. So, GG, congratulations! You are now moving to 4-1.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to finish first, but not lose by this much to Bressingham. What?
I mean, less than 7 minutes. I mean, I don't know if I would consider that much, but it was just the choices that Bressingham was making. Every choice was just great routing.
Okay.
Every choice was spot on. Finding Varia when he did pretty early on. I think everybody except for Chex had utilized the wavegate glitch to get Varia early, and I think Chex having to double back for that until after getting the wave beam, that might have been the difference here in this case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bressingham even saying in chat, I had God route.
Vision the route. Wow, it was a fun seed. I can see what I could have skipped. I could have gotten space jump earlier. Could have ignored ignored gauntlets. Went down in Green Hill Zone instead of back to Old Bryn, and not done Bowling Alley. That would have saved possibly 7 minutes. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, you're not racing Bressingham, so I mean that's certainly a good sign. I mean, your opponent here is Chex, and as noted, I think the big difference was Chex having to double back for Varia later, and
Yeah,
I think had that not been the case, this would have been considerably closer. But even in saying that, it's probably going to be almost the same differential between you and Bressingham, probably about 6.5 to 7 minutes.
So where was Ice Beam? I'm the only one who doesn't have it.
Ice Beam, I am looking at my notes here because I was noting where everything was. Ice Beam, yeah, chat's probably going to beat me to it. Was it Speed?
Oh, I was already in Go, so I didn't check.
Yeah, Ice Beam was at Speed Booster. That's right. I meant to put an asterisk next to it in my notes here. I've got this sheet with all 100 locations, so it's like trying to run through. Although there weren't a whole lot of notable items, as most of them were kind of in Meridia and pretty much ignored otherwise here. High jump boots were at Wreck Ship Reserve, I see here.
Yeah. I didn't check reserve because I already had both suits, and speed would put me in Go, so I didn't care about what could be speed locked at that point, so I didn't check.
Yeah, I think one out of the... I think Chex might have made that check, if I recall correctly. I know one of the 4 runners did. I think it might have been Chex, but again, trying to pay attention to 4 screens is enough, let alone trying to remember what all 4 of them did.
I understand. Thank you for doing this, by the way.
Not a problem. This is... I mean, commentary is what I do, outside of the Twitch world. So, as a radio personality, DJ, and things of that nature. So it's.
You do have a radio voice.
And for those who've seen me, I have a face for radio too. I don't know if he down back Zeb skipped, but it was certainly a very nice Zeb skip nonetheless. And as Chex is working on the Mother Brain fight here, make sure to give all 4 of our runners a follow, as they have done quite a few good things here tonight for you. They've certainly showcased their talents, to say the least. So yeah, Bressingham 6, FenixDown23, Chexhuman, and neatorific. And make sure to show some love to the folks behind the scenes here at Speedrunners Arena. Our restreamer, Cheese Reaver, who has already restreamed and commentated a race earlier today, maybe even a little more than that. He's one of the administrators of SMRAT. Also, Music75 with the unenviable task of tracking all 4 of these runners throughout. And you can certainly give me a follow as well. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I commentate, I play video games somewhat decently, but also somewhat poorly. But I have a lot of fun sounders. It's like coming into a radio show, so it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, fun seed. And
yeah, it definitely yeah. You knew it was going to be interesting with no power bombs near the very early part of the seed, and then bombs at Bomb Chorizo. You kind of knew this is going to be a little interesting.
Yeah. Second time not checking 230 missiles bit me as soon as I could because Space Jump was there. And my race against Jay, I think there was something there too. And I just went straight to New Bryn instead of checking 230. Oh well. I'll try to remember that for the future.
It's one of those things where, I mean, that's the beauty and also frustration of randomizer is when you zig one race, you should have zagged. When you zag one race, you should zig. You never know.
Hindsight is 2020.
And we've already seen plenty of 2020, and they can keep it. But that notwithstanding, so yeah, you're moving into 4-1 with quite a few notable names here as I'm looking at the list. I mean, there's Saffron, there's Amadeus, Kuru's in there, Junie, Glove, they, them, I believe. So there, there's
Are you trying to scare me?
I'm just merely stating the facts.
Okay.
That's what I do as a broadcast journalist. I'm just providing the factual information.
But yeah, that's a lot of big names.
And neatorific has just been added to that, so don't sell yourself short. If there's any short selling, it's going to be myself here or apparently hedge fund people, for better or worse. But enough about that. We've got the escape going on here with Chexhuman, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be about okay. I was a little under in my guess, maybe an 8-minute or so difference. 8.5, somewhere in that range. And yeah, I was gonna say I may get a verbal slap on the wrist later for that, but I figured it was worth the chuckle. But yes, Chex not too far away here from finishing up the race here. Did you want to stick around to have a little correspondence with Chex after the fact here, Nito?
Oh, sure.
Should be just a matter of moments here. I mean, of course, that also depends on whether Chex will agree to a post-race interview. But that notwithstanding, the finish coming under just a matter of moments here. So check it out, your GGs for Chex, as I don't think there's going to be any disaster in the next 10 seconds here. As Chex is going to finish here, go to 3-2 with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 46 seconds. So, all right, about 8.5 minutes, 8 minutes and 41 seconds, the differential. And again, I think that we'll see when if and when Chex gets in here. But as we await for that, I would say to stay tuned for more races coming up tonight. But that is actually going to conclude our SMRAT tournament races for the evening. But we do have what looks to be a lineup of 6 races coming your way tomorrow. We will see how many of those are able to be restreamed. And with Chex joining us in the booth, we'll that in a matter of moments. GG, a gallant effort, Chex, to say the least.
GG.
So from everything that I was able to see here, it looked like a little bit of a delay came in, or a little bit of the differential came in with the. I guess was there an issue with the wavegate glitch?
Right. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, that
GG.
really looked to have been, I guess, the one of the only notable differences. I see that Nito did not get the ice beam, so that was a bit of a time saver there.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, no, this
That's
was
good.
for
Yeah.
the majority of the race. It was pretty close between you two.
That's cool.
So was it a
Yeah.
dead last
Also
location?
note it says Nito did way less upper north there, so that was the other difference. Is chat pointing out here?
Exactly. With speed and lower North Fair, that's pretty convenient.
Yeah, I was going to do Upper North Fair on my way out, but I thought Barry had speed for me, so that was go.
Right. Makes sense.
So that puts you to 3-2, and there's certainly a pretty good group here as I'm looking. Our tracker Music is part of that group. Also RKC. Uh, let's see, Glaucio's in there. I mean, there's a pretty large and formidable group. Uh, so much of yeah, I don't want to run through all the names necessarily, but certainly a as I was telling Neatorific, there's certainly a lot of talent spread throughout, even in the 3-2 and the 2-3 group. So it's going to be interesting with a couple of more weeks left in the Swiss rounds.
Yeah, well.
But any last thoughts here before we wrap things up here on Speedrunners Arena?
It felt like a good run. There's some stuff I have to work on, but it was pretty fun. So thanks for commentating.
Oh, not
Yeah,
a
thanks.
problem. Glad to be able to do so and help provide at least a little bit of entertainment and keep things in as good a perspective as I can, paying attention to 4 screens at once. But I do appreciate it. Stay tuned, folks, or make sure to tune in tomorrow. As noted in chat, our next race is set for 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, so a little less than 18 hours from now. It's going to be Decimus against StephCad, and then we have 3 races set for 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to see how that fares, and then also a pair at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So it's going to be a frantic and frenetic Friday night in the SMRAT community, to say the least. So it looks like we're going to be sending a raid over to Junie, who is one of the SMRAT competitors here, and looks to be working on a rather challenging seed from what I can see in the headline here. So make sure to give our runners a follow. Make sure to, yeah, all 4 of them here were fantastic tonight. Make sure to also follow the folks behind the scenes here, Cheese Reaver, as well as Music75. For all of the folks here at Speedrunners Arena, until next time, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying stay classy, my friends, stay safe, and see you next mission. Good night, everyone.